to Quantum Healing Today, a healing podcast. Today, we are connecting with Christy Grace, the founder of Leading Edge Productions. Christy provides 100% support in the following areas of custom graphic art design, marketing management, support and branding, campaign development, media placement, advertising design, copywriting assistance and support, event promotions and organizing, SEO support, and much, much, much more. So thank you, Christy, for connecting today. Can you share your story and how Leading Edge Productions was created?
Yeah, so that lead in felt like a lot of marketing mumbo jumbo, which I do, and I have been working in marketing and advertising for, over 25 years now. When I started in print advertising, like a weekly entertainment publication in Salt Lake City, Utah. And back then it was Private Eye Weekly. Now it's Salt Lake City Weekly. And then I went to a radio station and worked for like my favorite alternative music radio station in Utah, X96. So I worked there for a while and then just went on to work at ad agencies and all different types of work in marketing, advertising, graphic design. But what really lights me up and what I would love to talk more about is event production and conscious events, which I've been involved with for about 20 years when I lived in Sedona and I would host women's gatherings. And then when I moved to Phoenix, about 17 years ago, I lived in Phoenix for 10 years and I produced women's gatherings and permaculture conferences and large women's retreats. And I've been hosting smaller retreats with my friend in Camp Verde on her property right by the river. So that's coming up next week. And we do women's retreats usually 4 times a year on equinoxes and solstice. So it's going to be hot down there in a couple weeks. And over solstice, we do like an outdoor fire ceremony and mud ourselves up with the bentonite clay and play in the river and eat healthy and do things all natural in balance with nature. And nature is really what lights me up. And I just really enjoy being out in nature and also working with the youth. And I host kids camps and work with young kiddos. So those are the things I'm most passionate about rather than all the marketing and advertising stuff that I do for work.
Oh, yes, definitely. That's definitely where I wanted to head to and talk about as well, was the conscious events that you are creating and holding space for. So thank you for that. Can you share the festivals that you've already worked on?
Yeah, just a week ago where I met you was Soulogy Fest near Sedona, and it was just a beautiful venue and definitely a great example of permaculture in the high desert. The venue was just gorgeous. It was a private property west of Sedona, so the views were amazing. And the venue is really important because if people are going to travel from all over the world and pay to come and experience 3 days in Sedona, a lot of them have never been there before. This was an amazing space to hold an event where everyone was able to come together and be with nature and the teepees and the sweat lodges and the tents and food and community that we were able to experience. That's a big piece of an event, and that's very important, is just the general ambiance and energy. And then you bring in authors and speakers and presenters and people that are super inspiring that attendees would love to come and spend the weekend with. And I really enjoy that. That is the best job I could even imagine, is to host and organize these conscious events. So Soulogy Fest last weekend, I worked with Todd Medina and Jade Lyons in Sedona. And that was all part of the Soulogy network. And then 2 years ago, the same Jade Lyons, he and I produced Resonate Festival. And that was just the most magical event ever, how it all came together. We worked very hard for 6 months and rented a really amazing venue in Camp Verde, the Jackpot Ranch. And it was just this humongous venue with horses and a petting zoo and miniature ponies and paddle boats, ponds, fountains, like plenty of space for camping. We had over 1,000 people there and brought in artists like Random Rab and Yaima, Peronge, and just an amazing blend of music. And we had 4 stages, a family village. It was an alcohol-free event, which I think is an important component of conscious events. And we offered a kombucha bar, and it was slightly hard kombucha. So, you know, it wasn't completely alcohol-free, but it was just a really amazing event. And everyone who participated, attended, performed, presented, volunteered, like it was just such an amazing example of community, and how all these people who have no idea what to expect, they've never met, and you put them all together for 3 or 4 days when you're co-creating these conscious events, and it all just unfolds, and the right people show up, and there's just such a variety of entertainment offered, and love and support and hugs, and it's a vibration, it's a resonance. So I really love the name that we chose, Resonate, because when you're talking sacred geometry and patterns and numbers and frequencies, there is a resonance to all of that. And so when we vibe with our tribe, we all come together, like how you and I recognized each other, and how a lot of people that come to the events, you just can't help but be overjoyed and overflow with love and hugs and smiles and kindness and support for one another. And it's just the most beautiful energy I can experience. And I feel blessed and honored to create these type of events, large and small. And that's what I really enjoy doing most. So thank you.
Yeah, those events are very, very important, and bringing people together on that level is, I mean, it's really beyond words. It's emotion and feeling and connecting and aligning. And so being there it's done a lot for me, and I know it's done a lot for other people. Will Resonant Fest be held annually?
We had it all planned for last year, and of course, a lot of events had to be canceled. So we were pretty much forced into canceling the Resonate Festival for 2020. And then we did plan it again for this year, and we decided to cancel again because it takes so much preparing and commitment, time commitment, financial commitment to produce something like that. And we still, a couple of months ago, weren't quite sure how this year was going to unfold as far as restrictions and what we're able to do with events and the venue and the state and the county regulations. So we just decided not to do it. And Jade and I are participating in some of these smaller events. So around 100 or a few hundred people gathering on private land is really the most ideal way to do events and kind of hug the community in a little tighter. And it just feels a lot more intimate. And we're going to focus on that this year and possibly do Resonate Fest again next year, maybe looking for a bigger venue in Arizona to host that in 2022.
Okay, and I'm sure they can find information out there if that comes along.
Sure. Yeah. Resonatefest.com is the website, and I host that. So I will promote it as soon as something happens in that department.
Okay, great. And can you tell me more about Starseed Kids Camp? I know that that's something that I've imagined doing, and I think that's an amazing, amazing group that's already been established. Is that something that's
Yeah.
also going to continue?
Absolutely. That's really what excites me most. And just today, I had a little friend over. So I live in Northern Colorado, and we just moved like a couple weeks ago to this new property that's pretty magical with lots of gardens and flowers and ponds and fish and space to play. And I wanted to move to this space because I want to be able to host kids camps. And even if it's just, you know, 8 or 10 families and have a day or a weekend where kids and families can come and learn about permaculture. And that's what I enjoy teaching at festivals for kids. I have this whole ensemble that I put on and this costume, and I embody Mother Nature, and I talk to kids and families about some of the basics of homesteading and sustainable living and organic gardening and all the things that we can do to have a lighter impact on the planet and lighten our footprint and help kiddos understand what that means and what some of these alternative ways of living are, rather than being so greedy and consuming so much that is not really good for us, as far as just some of the fast food out there and some of the urban culture that is so convenient and all the technology, and that's all great and all, but when you can put that down for a day and go to a farm and volunteer, or go spend a weekend at a kids camp, or go spend a day at events that help teach kids about living in balance with nature and animals and energy, and harvesting your dinner and making a meal together, and going fishing or whatever. We live right next to a lake, and just teaching them about the ecology of our area here, and then also other areas like Arizona, where it's completely different type of climate. And that's where I've hosted previous kids camps, at that same ranch, at Jackpot Ranch in Camp Verde. So that's where Jade and I met. He came to do a sound healing journey with the gongs and all these different instruments for one of our kids camps a couple years ago, and it was on spring equinox, and we had about 40 kids and some parents, and we're at this amazing farm and enjoying this sound journey. So everyone was laying on blankets, and Jade and his friend, they played all these instruments for the kids, and that's when he and I first met and decided to do Resonate Festival together. So all the magic of all of my events over the past few years kind of leads back to that moment, and doing kids camps, which I really love the most. And I've hosted a few on my own, and I want to do more here in Colorado and again in Arizona. And it's something that I can even take on the road and collaborate with people like you, and kind of move it around the region, and just plan a program and food, and bring community together, and see what happens. The kids kind of just make it up as we go. We adapt to what they want to learn and what level they're on, and we offer them opportunities to just enjoy other things. Like, how fun was that, making homemade vegan pizzas and putting them in a fire oven, and just the whole process of cooking something outside like that, and learning how to work with nature. Like, all of that was built with clay, and you work with these elements and teach kids how to work in nature, and how we can build things together and enjoy being just in balance with all of the natural elements and wonders, and get them excited about nature, so they grow up learning how to respect and appreciate and love nature, and really be the stewards of the earth. And that's my intention, is to teach it forward to where these younger generations will be responsible and respectful stewards of this earth, and just get that strong connection with the nature spirits, and working with herbs and edible gardens, learning how to just sustain their bodies with what nature has to offer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my passion, as you can tell.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely aligned with that, because I'm very earthy. I think getting in tune with earth and animals is very important. I think learning how to take care of them, as well as yourself, well, because we are one, and it's a complete cycle. And so, it's kind of like a worn out couch. You really have to take care of it, if you're going to hand it down to somebody else, and
Right.
the earth has been in distress for a very long time. And so that's why we are here. That's why we're brought here, so that we can bring back that connection to earth and nature and animals and the connection just with ourselves, because we have lost that connection of being in tune with nature. So that's very important. So
Yeah, community is where it's at. When kids can come together and be in healthy relationships with one another and adults and have respectful, conscious conversations and be able to learn and teach and grow and adapt and help them understand the vibrational resonance of being in harmony in community. And I love having talent shows and featuring kids, unique talents and what they have to offer and what they're excited about, and feature them on stage and be like, okay, you've got 3 minutes, show us what you've got, and just watch them light up and, start breakdancing or singing or doing gymnastics or poetry or whatever is inside them that they can express their creative self. I think that's the best gift we can offer kids these days.
yeah, that chance to contribute and to make that contribution comfortably and in a safe place too.
Mhm.
So so you are in Northern Colorado. Do you provide services internationally or just locally?
I mostly work virtually, and I have a nice home office that I haven't had my own office for a couple years, and I can work mobily from anywhere, but at the moment I am really blessed to have a home office, and then I connect with people all over the world, usually via Zoom. I do enjoy face-to-face communication or even just audio. We can talk on the phone. A lot of communication through email. So what I do with event promotions, which I probably love the most. I can organize retreats for other people, any kind of event. I've done large conferences and all different kinds of things, and I can be as involved as much or as little as needed. And then I love to travel. So being able to do most of the work online and then traveling for events, I really enjoy that as well. I do a lot of volunteer work. But yeah, I can work with anyone, anywhere online. And so event promotions and then custom graphic design. I really love graphic art and making customized graphics for to support their businesses. So a lot of small businesses, I will build their website and do the custom graphics and SEO and help them with marketing and social media and a lot of that kind of management. But mostly I love the creative side. So I want to do more writing books and working my own events here with kids and being more locally available. And I don't need to travel as much. So I am going to Arizona. I just got back. I was there last week and I'm going 4 more times this year for different events and things. So, and I do have a lot of family and friends in Arizona. So that's an often excursion, but I can travel anywhere in the world and help people do events or whatever. I'm open and have done a lot of different types of jobs within marketing and advertising. So if anyone is in need, I'd love to connect and at least have a conversation to see if it's something that I can support you with.
Great, awesome. And then you mentioned the women's retreat that was coming up soon. Is that something that's held regularly?
Yes, and it is open to the public. We do fill up quick though, just because I have a lot of friends and a big network in Arizona, and my friend Glora and I have done women's retreats together for many years and generally 4 times a year. So equinoxes and solstices, and we do different things in nature. She's got a beautiful property by the river. And so because it's going to be so hot, or in 2 weeks when we do the solstice retreat, we have about 30 women coming. 30 women is probably the most we can handle at that venue, but I've done retreats where we've had a few hundred women. So yeah, just healthy food and a little bit of yoga, ecstatic dance, playing in the river, mudding your body with bentonite clay, facials, washing feet, hands, just playing in nature, and meditation, hammocks. You can read a book on the porch. We do have some sound journey friends that come in and offer different sound healing modalities. Massage therapist. We have a little meditation cottage where you can book a 60-minute or 90-minute massage, and just community. You know, we come together, we do art projects. I'll teach people how to do dream catchers or a vision board, or we're doing a self-care collage this time, and different art projects like working with nature and natural elements, and being outside and laughing and hugging and telling secrets and just building community is what I enjoy most. And something very special happens when females get together and just allow themselves to open up and share and cry and be acknowledged and loved and seen for who they truly are, and give them an opportunity to share their wisdom with one another. We have our resident shaman, Gina, and she comes and she'll do like a little ceremony around the fire and call in the directions. And Camp Verde is a place of spirits. I believe it feels like there's a lot of Native American energy there. And it was a reservation like 150 years ago when they started rallying up the Yavapai tribes and all the different tribes in Arizona. That was one of the first reservations. So there's a lot of uh,
History.
pain and a lot of history around the energy of the native culture there. And you mentioned past life regression earlier. I do feel like I have a lot of possibly past life connections with that area and the Yavapai tribe specifically. So that's why I feel so drawn to the Sedona area, and just keeps bringing me back really often. And I have family that lives there as well. So yeah, I just really enjoy Northern Arizona.
I was just gonna say I felt drawn there too, to Camp Verde area, and I don't know why. So yeah, there's a lot that can be done with past life regression if you're ever interested. Another question I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite part about what you do for yourself and for others?
Well, I talked about how the kids really bring me a lot of joy, and it's the simple things that just bring so much love into my heart. And I had an amazing experience at Soulogy Fest near Sedona last weekend, and there were so many different people and things that were extremely magical for me there. But one moment stands out where we had some fire dancers, and they were out there spinning fire, and they were so good. And one of them burned themselves, and he comes in, he's like, "Are you the house mom?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And I took care of him and cleaned his wound and put salve on his burn. And I really enjoy those moments where I can just be of service and just help others and connect on a deep level like that. And again today, when my little friend Veda came over, she just turned 3, and she is just a little fairy child, and she comes over and loves to feed our fish. And we have a 5,000-gallon koi pond, and these humongous kois, like over 30 of them, and they are characters, and this place is like a magical fairyland. And she'll come and feed them, and they will leap out of the water, and they're like half as big as she is. And she just says, "Ah, Christy, I love feeding your fish, and I love coming to your magical space." And then she says, "I love you, Jeffrey," to my husband. And she's just so full of love and wonder. And it's those moments that are so raw and real when young kids, old souls, I think, old souls in these young starseed bodies that are incarnating on the earth at this time, they appreciate nature, and they appreciate that vibration and resonance of love frequency. And that's all that they know. That's all that is real. And anything that is in discord with love is a distortion, and kids will let you know if something isn't right, in their world. So I think my favorite thing about what I do is connecting with people with all ages, especially the kiddos, but all ages, and just really watching the magic in their lives unfold when they light up and feel passionate about something, when they get excited about something, when they can experience manifestation and learning what that really means, and how we can truly consciously create our reality and bring forth things in our life that we envision and dream of, and working with the natural elements of the earth around us, and understanding the relationship with that and anyone in our lives, any living thing, pets and parents and friends and all life around us, working with those energies and working with others, so they all understand that we are all one. That's what it all comes down to. It all comes back to the one. And
Yeah.
when you can resonate with others on that level, that's what really brings me the most joy and gratitude and satisfaction with my life and what I do.
So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And so what is your service and mission going forward with Leading Edge Productions?
Continuing to work on events all over the world. I am open to that. I met somebody at Soulogy Fest, and she wants to co-create a women's retreat in Guatemala. So awesome opportunities like that choose to create in my life, as well as regional. I have family in Utah and Arizona, so any event, an excuse to get to those areas to connect with family as well. And then also more locally. So my intention with this property we just moved to is to have small events, so yoga retreats, kids camps, and just keep it, under 20 people. And that's about how many I feel comfortable in my space and yard, and we can accommodate everyone overnight and cook food. We're wanting to do like an outdoor kitchen, outdoor restroom, and gray water into the gardens, and get chickens, and a geodesic growing dome, and grow herbs, and be able to harvest our food here, and be that example and teach others how to be more in balance with nature.
Yeah. And hey, if you need chickens, I got chickens.
Yes, I do. I'm ready.
But that sounds like a magical place for them to be.
Yeah, put them all in your car and head on up.
We'll just drive
That'd
the
be quite a
coop over.
sight.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing your work. Is there anything else that you can think of that you would like to share with anybody that's listening?
I have been on a hiatus for a bit, but I do manage a couple online communities. So Resonate Fest community, or Resonate Festival community on Facebook I manage, and that is just an open community for people that are interested in transformational festivals, conscious events, that kind of thing. And we're open to create Resonate Festival anywhere. It doesn't have to be in Arizona. So maybe looking to move that around a bit and connect with other communities around the nation. So my website that is connected with everything else is leadingedgeproductions.com. There's a space between leading and edge, or a dash rather. So leading-edge-productions.com. And I'm Christy Grace on Facebook, so connect with me. And yeah, I just intend to write more and do a children's book. That's what's in my back pocket right now. So I'm ready to get that in production before the holidays, so I can really promote that to help kids understand vibration and frequency told through a story about fairies. And I love fairies, and I am just excited in writing this book for kids. So I plan to push that out toward the end of the year.
How cute. I love the idea and the direction and the purpose of that. What would you be able to share the name with us, or where we can find that?
Still a
Or
working title, but something to
okay.
the effect of Fairy Friends of the Forest and the City.
Okay. Oh, cute. I love it. I love it. And do you have an illustrator that you're working with, or are you doing that
I
on
do
your own?
illustration as well. So
Nice.
I have some real fairy friends in my life. The little girl that came over today, she's 3, and another a few other kiddos in the area that I'm going to photograph and use as models, and then bring them into Photoshop and do custom illustrations and some fun, fantastical artistic effects to bring that into a story about fairies. And we live at the base of the Rocky Mountains, so
Mhm.
it's going to be set here because as you climb an elevation, it feels to me like the vibration gets higher and higher and higher, and I can feel that on a soul level. So whenever I go hiking up in the Rocky Mountains with my husband and dog, I always feel these like downloads of inspiration, and it's usually about different parts of this book that I want to write, and it just comes to me and I'm like, oh, how exciting. So it's just special to be able to access the Rocky Mountains and live in this area with so much abundance of trees and plants and birds and nature and water, lakes, rivers. I really enjoy living here for that reason.
I can imagine. That sounds like heaven on earth, really. Well, beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Not at the moment. It's been
Okay.
really an honor and pleasure speaking with you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for reaching out, and I'm so glad we connected at Soulogy Fest. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I will help promote this podcast. And it sounds like a really great way to share with people around the world what you're doing and the people who you connect with. So thank you for doing what you do and offering that as a service to humanity at this time.
Oh, well, thank you. I definitely hear you and I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And, for anybody that wants to create and expand with higher consciousness, anything is possible with the right intentions and the right team. If you are looking for anybody, Christy Grace and Leading Edge Productions can turn your dreams into reality. And I fully believe that everything that you need, she can assist you with. So, whatever your next project is, connect with her today. And can you share one more time how they can connect with you?
leadingedgeproductions.com. There's a space between leading and edge, or a dash rather. So leading edge productions.com, or on Facebook, Christy Grace. I'm out there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right.
And
Thank you.